Alright, welcome back to the next tutorial. Now, I did notice that I spelt synopsis right the first time, but then I changed it, so I ended up misspelling it when it was correct the first time. But anyway, as another side note, I did this tutorial before, but I realized I did a piss poor job at explaining things, so I decided to get rid of the stuff that I did do and keep only a few bits. What I've changed so far since last tutorial is I've changed it to the correct names, and I have changed the class name for the scene we have, as well as the symbol we're using, and the method. Alright, the only other thing I've added so far is a window, and I've changed the sprite name. So, this is what I was doing in the this is what I was doing before, and I realized I did a piss poor job explaining it, so I'm going to try again. What's going to happen is, up here in our start method, we have Windows synopsis description equals Windows synopsis description dot new. So, being a new window over here, it's going to do this, and it's going to do initialize. Now in initialize, we have super 0, graphics width and graphics height times 0.7. So in my calculator, 414 times 0.7 is equal to nope, 414 times 0.7 equal to 289.8. Now that's 70% of the screen for your game. So if it was here and the bottom was here, it would be around about here-ish. Alright, for the window, that's where it would end. And that's what graphics.height times 0.7 does. Now, keeping in mind that this here is inherited from window base, which means that when I call super on it, it ends up going to window base here and passing in X, Y, width and height, which then does all that stuff as well. So really that's all I have changed, and now to move on to the thing that I sucked at explaining, and I think I should do it properly this time. We don't need that. Alright, so I had X equals 0 and Y equals 0. I also don't need that. It's going to put 0 and 0 here. 0, 0. Okay. Now, what I was doing is creating paragraph formatting. And what that means is, if I go over here and make a new person and have them say something to me, like, anything in particular, honestly. Now, and put a space here too. Space. Now, when I talk to him, what happens? Talk to the guy, and I get that thing, and it goes off the screen, and that's not what I want. So I decided to put paragraph formatting on it, and what that means is, once text starts going off the screen, it's going to go back through the text to try and find a space, and once it finds a space, it will then just put it on the next line. So instead of it being like this, it would end up like this. That's what paragraph formatting is. So that's what I was trying to replicate, and yeah. Continuing on from that, what happens? What we were doing was current text box size equal to 0. Now this is just a placeholder, so current text position is what it really is. Position. I should name that to be that. So position is equal to 0. Now where's text size? You were somewhere. There you are. Current text size equal to that, and then back to 0 here. Cool. So current text position is equal to 0. Now as we go, then we're going to put text is equal to our synopsis description text, which is down here, and that's what we're doing. Making it equal to that. And that's temporary. We don't want to actually change the original thing, as you'll see in a moment. So text is equal to synopsis description. Now for the for loop. Now here's the interesting thing, and where I started losing thought patterns. Alright. Now when you make a string, you're actually making an array of characters. Now if you don't know what a character is, it's one letter or number. Just one thing. So that's a character, that's a character, and that's a character, and so on, and so on, and so on. Okay? Now when you make a string like the following, if I make it A, B, C, D, E, F, G, what I'm actually doing is the following. I'm actually going string is equal to array, and then string 0 is equal to A, and then string crappies, and then string, you know, element 1, element 2 is equal to B, C, D. That's what I'm doing when I make a string. I'm just making an array of characters. Okay, so with that in mind, if I go back into custom scene here, I can go for I in 0 dot dot text dot length -1. And the reason why I do -1 here is it's the same as dot size for an array, just length, and lengths for strings and sizes for arrays. So it's actually string dot length, and that will return the same thing as size. So if I have if my string is equal to A, B, C, D, E, F, that's 6 characters, so my string dot length is going to equal to 6, and that's great and all because it returns what I want it to, but that's not how you access arrays. So if I was to go string 6, I'm going to get nil, because string 6 isn't there. It only goes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So remember, no 6 as it's going to return. That's where we go text.length -1, because we don't want the 6 one at all. We just want the 5. Alright, so for I in 0 dot dot text.length -1, and that's going to do this. It's going to create a variable called I. It's going to equal to 0 here. So int I in 0. Then after that, it's going to go through text.length -1. So pretending for a moment our text.length is 6. It's going to do the for loop. I is going to equal to 0, and then I is going to equal to 1, and then it's going to equal to 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5, because that's what we set it to. And once it hits 5, it's then going to finish. Okay. And the reason why we're doing that is because once we go down a bit more, it's going to do this. Okay, here's what's going to happen. As we keep going across our message box, so grab this guy. Nope. Someone who has text. You've got text. As we go across, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Keeps going on and on and on until it hits here. And once it hits here, it's going to be at a certain point where I have to go back to find a space. Alright, but before that, I have to find out what position it is. So as you can see, every letter has a different size on it. So H is what? 3 pixels wide, and I is about 2. Yeah. So that's why you have to calculate them individually. Well, not really, because it's in a window base. Anyway, I'll show you what that means. So what we're doing here is we are adding on to current text position. Now text.size happens to be a method inside of window base. So if I search it up in window base def text size, and it's in here, it returns contents.textSize string. And that's actually a rectangle. That actually returns a rectangle rather than just a number. So if we go into help for a moment, and yep, help, and then search up rectangle, or just rect. Here you can see what rect is and everything about it. It's really not that much, but filter it up a little bit. Damn it. Down here you can see width. It goes X, Y, and then below that, which I think is off the recording thing right now, it says width and height, and you can go .x, y, width, and height to get the values you're looking for. Now, the reason why we're doing that is because when we go text size text 1, which is going to be the letter that's currently in text at that element, so as we're iterating through it, it's going to be A, B, C, D, and then whatever's in that one but there, it's going to return back the size of it. So X, Y, and then width and height, and that's great. But you only care about the width, so we just go dot width. So current text position plus equals text size dot width. Okay, so current position plus equals text size, text width, actually character width, because character, as I said, it's A, B, C, D, E, F, and yeah. Anyway, now here comes a little bit of a harder part. What we're doing here is we are going if current text position is greater than or equal to self.width, and what that means is, as I said before, we're checking to go if it's off the screen. So if you've gone past this point here and you're off the screen, then you've gone over the limit that we were looking for. So go back in the array. Now to do that, what we've done is current element equals I, and current element is a local variable, and what's going to happen is the following. We're going to do a while loop, and it's going to iterate back through the string. Alright, so while text current element, which is equal to I right now, is not equal to space. So obviously a space is just a space on your spacebar. Otherwise I can go is not equal to A for that matter. Alright, but we're looking for a space. Alright, whilst it's not equal to that, minus equals 1, and then go and do this again until you find a space. Otherwise, if you can't find a space, break out if current element is 0. Okay, that was a bit of a mouthful, but the idea is the following. Keep going back through the array, the string, until you find a space. And if you hit the starting point of the string, so for example, if I had the following, string is equal to yada 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 yada, goes off screen, it can't find a space in here, can it? So once you've hit the L here, it's going to just get out of the while loop. It can't help it. Okay? So that's what that does. That little section there. Then we make another local variable called temp text, and it's going to equal nothing right here. And then we're making another for loop for j in 0 dot dot text dot length yet again. What we're going to do is the following. We're going temp text plus equals text dot j. So it's going to be 0, and then it's going to add on to that, onto the what the text is, right? Now the interesting thing here is once you've hit current element, the element here where it actually found what you were looking for, it's going to add in n, \n. Now the reason why we do that is because if you go over here, make a new guy, anyone would do, and then talk to them. If we go game_message.add, game_message.add, and we add in text here, right? So stuff like this. Okay, and then we put in \n, and then we just hold L so you can see it's actually worked. Here's what happens. That should be on the same line, right? Well, when I talk to the guy or girl, yep, girl, talk to her, it actually goes on to the next line. And the reason why it does that is because of \n. And that's what it does. So when you add in \n into a string, you're basically telling the computer, I want this to be on a new line. So that's what we're doing to it. That's why we go temp text plus equals \n if j is equal to current element. Okay, so to explain that a little more clearly, what we're doing is we are going temp text plus equals text j element. So in this case, let's say for example our text was equal to RPG Maker. It's going to equal to first it's going to equal to R, and then it's going to equal to P, and it's going to equal to G, and then M. That's what it's going to do. It's going to keep adding on letters onto it. Alright, and let's say for the sake of argument the current element was equal to 4. So 0, 1, 2, 3, and then here's 4. Alright, what it's going to do is it's then going to add in A. And then right after that it's going to add in \n. And then after that it's then going to add in K. And then E, and then R. Alright, so then the text is going to end up looking like that. Or really, RPG Maker. So that's what it would end up looking. That's what it will end up looking like. And that's why we do it that way. Okay? So I hope that was a lot clearer than what I had said, last time I attempted this. Okay? So text is, and then after we finish all that, temp is equal to temp text. The reason why we then make text equal to temp text is because we've added in the \n. Alright? And then after that we go I is equal to current element, because we've gone back through the string list to find the character we are going to add in \n into, and then after we've done that we are going to go back into that element. Okay, that was a little bit hard to understand, I'd reckon. Alright, basically what it means is this: when you go through this list, it's, again, I'll just go RPG Maker. It's gonna go through it. So it's going to put it there. I'm gonna go through it. I'm gonna go RPG. That's what it's gonna print out. It's going to print out RPG through this one first. Alright, and then it's gonna go Maker. And then just for the sake of argument, we'll say that this one was off screen. This one here. ER somehow managed to get off the window, off screen. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back through here until we find a space. Okay, so we've gone through all this, and this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8. So we're currently at element 8 according to the for loop. But we want to go back here so we can continue drawing the actual string properly. So we go back, we've done all our checking and stuff until we've gone back here, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go text I is equal to current element, because we are back here now and we want I to go back here too, since that's going to continue doing this. Okay, now I hope that did make sense. And then current text position is equal to 0, since we keep adding on to current text position, and until once we've hit the end of the window, then that means we have to set it back to 0, since this is going to make it go to a new line now. So it's going to hit here, and then we want it to equal 0 because it's now going to be over here. Alrighty, now that's all we've done, and that's how you can do paragraph formatting. Okay, now that's an if statement, and that if statement ends there, and that for loop ends there. Now I'm going to comment that. So if current position is greater than window width, then paragraph format, then format the sentence to fit line. And that's what all that's going to do. Alright. Now, after we've done all that, we then draw text _ex. Now, this is actually something to keep in mind, because when you go draw text ex, this is what handles all the escape characters and stuff to that effect. Now, what that means is the following: we have text when you pass in text here by an argument, it then goes text is equal to convert escape characters, underscore text. Now, if you go through all of this, what it does is it just changes things you've put into the string into other stuff. So if I go into convert escape character and take a look at it, and what it does is goes through text here, and it changes. So if you have a variable thing here, so like if you had v and then you put in 1, it replaces the v here with the variable you wanted to replace it with. And that does it for everything else. And that also includes colors, but I don't think you can see that here. Alright, so that's why you pass in draw text EX. So if you keep going through that and you take a look at everything, eventually it gets up to here, process character. And this is the reason why we're using draw text underscore EX, because once it hits \n, as we've been passing in, it then makes a new line for you. Alright, so then you can have \F and \E and stuff to that effect. And that's the reason why we're using it. So, draw text goes down here and it does process a new line for you. So if I was to just, if I was to go here and I just went draw text, just draw text itself, it's not going to draw, a new line for me. Draw text underscore EX will do that for me though. Okay? So, we'll go down here now and we will change this to something so that way it actually does show us paragraph formatting. So what we're going to do is the following. We're going to go, we're just going to type in random things, stuff like that, and then we're going to space it out. Before we space it out, we're going to do that, so that way it does go off screen, hopefully. Alright, close enough for me, went off screen. That was the paragraph formatting going back to 0 and trying to add stuff onto it. Okay, now what we'll do is go back into this one and we will put in spaces. Now, what we should see is paragraph formatting on it. And there you go. See, it doesn't go off screen now. It doesn't go out of the window area. So yeah. So we can tell it's actually working as intended. Now, straight to the point, that's all that stuff was, and that's how I wanted to use it. Now, that's all it was for paragraph formatting. I wanted to go into and finish the entire script now, but I suppose paragraph formatting is good enough for the moment. So until next time, stay safe.